room.
Let's go!
Back to the semifinals. Lane 1 from Hershey, Pennsylvania, Thomas Walker. Lane 6 from Long Beach, California, Kaylin Clay.
Are you playing close-up? Lane 4, Trevor Evans.
Great high school runner.
Switch your party. Switch your party because she's going to be moving. You're going to be fine. It's just not battery. No, I have full battery.
It's on record, they didn't take a picture. Oh, that's okay, because I can snap a picture off of that.
Joey's family, or whoever. So then you have the family getting mentored, you have the child getting mentored. So that's the 3 tier. You got prevention, you got the system kid that the mentor's working with, and then you have the parents who are being mentored by whatever the family is in the community. So that, we know that mentoring is a huge component to doing prevention, intervention, and treatment. And also that's been recognized by the feds now, because there's a lot of grant money that's available for mentoring programs through the Second Chance Mentoring, through the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, OJJDP. So there's just a lot of things that are available, but we know that mentoring works, and that's one of the easiest things that any community can do as far as preventing juvenile crime and violence, is to have strong mentoring programs in place that are knitted together. That, you know, a lot of communities have mentoring things going on, but there's no real sharing of information among those mentoring groups, and there should be. They should be all at the table discussing their different levels. There's church mentoring, you know, there's faith-based mentoring, there's nonprofit mentoring, there's big brothers, big sisters, there's all sorts of things out there, but they need to work together and understand the issues and have a combined sort of group that work on it.
Is the public school welcomed in this group?
Sure. Public schools are important because a lot of the mentoring can start at the public schools. We have programs here. There's one called Watchdogs, where these are actually fathers of children that go to those schools, and the fathers go to the school as a group and work with other kids. And there's a lot of simple little things that people can do. I tell people all the time, all you got to do is tell your child to bring home a kid that you know to be in the 5-H club. They're helpless, hopeless, homeless, hungry, and hugless. So you have that child come with your child, and you take them to the ball game. You take them fishing. You take them places that a lot of these kids that end up in trouble don't get to go. And you're doing that not as an official, but just as a person that lives in the community, a person who cares about the community, a person who cares about their friends or their children's friends. You know, it's just simple little things like that that communities can do. It doesn't take, it takes a lot of people working together, a lot of people understanding the issue, a lot of people putting aside their particular differences. I find frequently, all too frequently, the big turf issues that kids have on the streets a lot of times come from the turf issues going on in the adult community. So adults have to really take a look at all of our political infighting and things that are happening, and kids watch TV. They see all this stuff going on where adults can't really make their stuff work. So how do we expect the kids to make theirs work? It's kind of a crazy thing we've created.
Steve, nationally, are we making a dent into the proliferation of gang activity?
Some communities are, but we know that the fastest growing area for gangs right now is 11 to 15-year-old white boys. Oh, they may have come and taken all this graffiti down. That's good. If they did. I found this graffiti. Yeah, they did. Good. This was covered the other day with Mexican gang graffiti. And that's another issue that communities have to be aware of, you know. Or I tell people all the time, we live in a stew in this nation. And I like stew because stew's got all different kinds of ingredients in it. You got meat, you got potatoes, you got corn, you got everything in there. And that's what makes life interesting. You got all kinds of different things going on in life, and life is about a stew. So, but unfortunately, if you allow kids and allow gangsters to proliferate and form in your community, you end up with a lot of trouble. Because a lot of times people don't realize how important it is to be part of the stew. I'm going to drive up here. You remember LaFell Jackson from the documentary?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
We're going to see if he's home.
LaFell is still living.
Yeah, he's doing, as a matter of fact, when I first went to work here in North Little Rock as the Director of Youth Services, one of the first things I had to do was travel around to see all of the things that were going on. And I walked into this little building, and there sat LaFell Jackson, this former gang leader, and now he's doing intervention and prevention. Every afternoon he has about 60 kids that participate with him in activities.
He's still making that $140 a week too, I'm sure.
Still making that $140 a week.
He had a protege in the film. Do you still know where that guy is? And I can't recall his name now, but it was a kid that said, I've got 3 cars, I've got a house.
That was Bobby Banks. Bobby Banks, yeah, I know where Bobby Banks is. He's in federal penitentiary. Bobby Banks tried to run me off the road one time. Bobby's a tough guy.
Fluctuate from 50 down to 10. One day we might have 49 kids, the next day we may have 10. But it's been consistent. No, they don't put that thing, you know, they're like sisters and brothers. You can't tell. They wrestle and fight and argue, and then when it's over, they're laying on each other. Yeah, the dog.
Yeah,
the dog and my daughter here. But yeah, so yeah, it's a real good program because some kids feel like, well, the day if I'm not there, I'll get took out of the program. And the program is kind of like long term, and it's always there, and that's what kids look for. They look for a place to always be able to go. Right. You know, regardless of what happened.
He does.
You know?
He makes the parents give the way the kids get to go to his program is the parents have to give
1 hour. They start off 1 hour a week, and it's amazing how that 1 hour always tend to go up to. Mr. Phil, I'll come up today. Why don't you take off today? Mr. Phil, I want to come up just, 2, 3 days. We have one parent who